Hello, my friends in the RC groups. This video is going to be for Vet. He wanted to know what card model I was using and how to get the card model. So, Vet, the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to go to a website here. Hopefully you can see that. Avzim, SU. You can also just go on and type in your search menu up here. I typed in paper model 747, and then it came up with the picture of this particular 747, which is a Japanese, I think, president's aircraft, or Japanese Defense Force aircraft. And click on that, Absim, and it's going to take you here to this. I believe this is Russian. This Russian website. Right here's the website, Absim, SU. And it's going to say select language. You're going to select whatever language that you are comfortable with. Me, I speak English. And then also on this website, after you select the language you want to speak, you're going to go to here. You're going to go right here to paper models. Click on paper models. And it's got a listing. And this is for anybody who wants to look for a particular airplane. They have all kinds of airplanes in here. They had old World War II planes. They have an Antonov 22. They've got all kinds of planes. Any kind of paper model that you can almost think of. A330. The A330 model is pretty nice. They've got this Airbus A320. That's a nice model that I used before. This is a pretty good model too here. A50, they have helicopters. If you want to make a helicopter body out of foam and put it on a RC heli. They've got this CRJ model here. That Dash 8 model is not the best I've seen it looks like. It's not really to scale in my book. And then I believe this is my 747, the one that I'm using, is on the second page. So all you gotta do is just scroll through here until you see the 747 that I have, which is that Japanese Defense Force one, or Japanese Defense Force JDF, and it'll be on here. And you just scroll till you see that 747 that was in that little screenshot. So yeah, just go through here and you'll find the 747. You don't even got to use that one. There's a Lufthansa one on there too, as well. But once I get that the model, and it's for everything on here is pretty much for free. You can donate to these guys because they are putting these models out for free, and they're using donations to keep the website open. Once you get that model, what I normally do is I save it and then I put it on my little laptop down there, and I do this old method of tracing the templates. Basically all I do is I just put it on my laptop down there, and I'll blow it up on the computer, on the laptop, and I will physically trace pretty much all my my little templates out. After I trace my templates, I'll put them on here and I'll trace it onto this foam. Now this foam I believe is maybe 2 millimeters, and this foam is from Dollar Tree. I don't know if they have Dollar Tree where you're from, but this is the foam I get here. It's only $1, and the reason I get this type of foam is you can easily peel off the paper, and I particularly you get black, because if you get white, it doesn't peel off as easy as the black. Just peels right off, and then underneath you'll have this clear white foam. And when you peel this foam off, if you try to bend this foam this way, it's not going to work too well. You're going to end up cracking the foam. So it's got a natural way that it likes to be bent, and you can just bend it the natural way. It likes to normally be bent the long way, which is this way, and it'll bend real easy, and you can manipulate the foam. And then once you get it all cut out, manipulate it. Say this is the foam, you start to hot glue, or whatever glue you're using, the pieces to your aircraft that you're building. And you can see here how that fits right on there. And then I also trace the lines onto the foam, because once you use a marker, or not, excuse me, not a marker, once you use a pen, you can trace trace everything onto the foam, and you'll have a traced outline. And then you'll go through again and then draw everything in with the outline that you used by tracing it with this paper. And then for the inside, I don't have any like templates of how I did the inside. It's basically me just looking at pictures of how Boeing built their plane, and just, you know, coming up with my own little method of what I do. So basically I'll put these little ribs in, and then I'll take, to get that other wall, which is that thinner wall that's up front right there with the numbers on it. What I'll do is I'll cut little ribs out, paint them, I'll put them on the airplane, and then that'll be the first layer that I use, is this right here. And then I'll cut out little tiny squares with this, and this is a foam plate. And then that's what the inside is it's actually foam plates, and I'll glue that. So it is kind of a lot of work that I'm doing. I've been doing this for a while, so it's not that hard for me. And then that's how I get the inner parts of the inside of the airplane. Now you got to take in mind, if you don't have a really thick or deep color, the plane will kind of shine through, which I don't like. What else is the paint I'm using? And this is the paint that I'm using right here to get my colors. This silverish color is a different paint. It's this right here. It doesn't melt the foam or anything like that. And then the way I glue my plane together is hot glue. So that's pretty much everything the method I use. Hope that explains it to you guys. If not, just hit me up with another, questionnaire. But we'll go through and we'll look at this airplane. So you guys can see I've got all the little things on here, the pitot tubes, and I got these are hollowed holes, which I'll detail these up with the things that go on in there. I've got the front too, so I got to put the windshield wipers on here, the sensors. I've got the inside of that hollowed out because that's where the FPV system is going to go, inside here. This hatch actually comes open. The doors actually open up. I got to put the hinges on here. I did have the top deck to where the doors open, but I kind of screwed up the inside of this top deck. I actually made it a little too high, so it looks really, to me, awkward in there. So I just covered it up. What else was I going to tell you guys? Here's the inside cargo bay, and it also has a lower cargo bay down there, which I have to continue to build. Finally got the Cathay Pacific sign on the symbol on there. A lot of these angles too, when you get your card model, are not going to be, when you get this stuff, man, when you cut it out, all this stuff is not going to fit as perfect as it looks on here. You're going to have to do some work with that, with the card model. Everything does not fit exactly the way it's supposed to fit. And not only that, to get these angles on this airplane, some of the angles are not going to be exact. So it's good to take a picture of the actual aircraft to get these certain angles. Like the 740 has a sharp angle right here. To get these angles, you're going to want to take a picture of the actual aircraft, or get a picture from the internet. And like this angle down here, you're not going to have that angle right there. These are pictures I use from the actual aircraft, and I've been building it for a while, so I know where the angles go. Excuse the messy room. And then there's the other side here. So I'll let the camera focus. Alright, hold on a second, guys. I guess because the silver is making it hard to focus. But yeah, that's the front. The cargo bay area down there. and I believe the plane is still not. It might be a pound. Just the front part of this is a pound. Like there's my son right there, so you can see how big this plane is compared to him. Hold on, Neville, we're gonna show him how big it is. And there's my girlfriend, so you can see how big the plane is, and it's just I think maybe a pound. So thank you guys. What was that, Washington Flyer? Man, your airplanes are coming along good, man. I watched you from when you first started putting your stuff on the internet, and you've come a long ways, brother. So, good work on those papers. I want to thank everybody for your support. Without you guys, I mean, seriously, man, like, I would not really be building, well, I would be building planes, but you guys just give me the motivation to want to make something even better. So, hopefully with this build, I can have some really cool features.